are some of the daily practices that you do on yourself to kind of know, because you're going to handle some conflicting situations, but how did you, uh, what are your daily practices that you do to kind of help those? Because if you hate them, that's one thing, but the conflict, but what are you doing daily to help keep Chris calm?
Well, I wish I could say I meditate every day for 10 minutes and I do yoga and all that stuff, but I'm not consistent in the way that I would probably like to be.
I think that's the
Um,
new resume people are doing now. It's like, I read 2 books a day and I
right.
meditate for 30 minutes. And it's like,
Yeah,
every
just
day?
yeah, I'm not gonna make that up. What does keep me grounded is having a really good routine in the mornings.
Mm,
I feel my best when um, I'm waking up, I'm having my cup of coffee, I'm going to the gym, I'm spending the time that I need to kind of read the news and read my newsletters and get ready for the day. And that grounds me and gets me in a good place for my day. But I'm not in like my work right now isn't so heavily focused on working with two people in conflict and trying to manage that. It's it's working with one person and conflict that they may have, with someone else, or a conflict that they're dealing with internally that I'm helping them get clarity around. Um, but the calmness, I think, helps people ease into a space where they feel comfortable
hmm.
really kind of opening up, which allows you to get to the root of the problem.
Yeah. And just that conversation that you had with that employee, if there was a way to measure how much in that time, that space right there in that conversation where you allowed that person to release that whole imposter feeling, anxiety, whatever, in that space right there, to just say, to talk them through it, allow, that's a money saver. That is a money saver for an organization. Instead of going through the stress, anxiety, the performance improvement plans and everything, and put that right there speaks of how you can met what you're putting the value back into that relationship and the value back into that leader to be a
Yeah,
better employee, leader, whatever the situation could be.
I have. It was just a belief of mine
Mm-hmm.
that you have to do what's best for the person, and what's best for the person is ultimately best for the business.
Mm-hmm.
That to me is one of my guiding philosophies as a people leader. And how that shows up is a really valued employee comes to you and says they want to resign, or they have another job opportunity,
Mm-hmm.
and a business minded, fear based, protect the bottom line approach is, we got to keep this person, we got to sell them on it, we got to convince them that we're the best opportunity for them.
Mm-hmm.
And my approach is, tell me more about this opportunity. It sounds really exciting.
Mm.
Like, how, really understand it
Mm-hmm.
and empower them to make a really clear choice about what's best for them. Because I'm not going to be the one
Yeah.
that's going to tell them what to do. If I'm the one that tells them what to do and tells them to stay, and then they're like miserable, then there's
Mm-hmm.
resentment. It's just not good.
No,
So it's just good people stuff. Like, just be good people.
I like that. It's just good people stuff. So
Yeah.
so one of the stories is I have, so Nico, who is my production manager, I I have had 2 situations where I have resigned, and my senior leader was just so upset. Like, month's notice, didn't leave anything undone, great, but
Yeah.
just so upset. And I just remember thinking, why are you taking this so personally? Like, why? That was my first thought. Like, why are you taking this so personally? But, and so I took that. And then when I had my staffing and recruiting franchise, Nico was one of my recruiters. This is several years ago. And I think about after 8 months, 8 or 9 months of him working, I mean, great job. All of my team did an incredible job, and they aligned to what I taught from, which was people first. They would put people first, and and I think it was probably 8 or 9 months in, he ended up going to on a trip with a friend over to Italy. Never been outside the country. I don't think. But definitely one of the first of kind of the trips like this that he's taken, and so he's very excited. And it was around December, Christmas holiday season, and he got back, and for probably about a week to 2 weeks, he was not performing the same. It not in the sense that he wasn't doing his job. There was a slumpness in his shoulders. When he would come there. He would just kind of look miserable. And I just, I thought, I'm just going to sit here and talk with him. And I knew what it was up. And I was like, I know, because I travel. I was like, I know he went and got the travel bug. And so I don't think leaders use that emotional intelligence enough at that point. And I was just like, oh, I've been there. I've been there.
Yeah.
And so I had him. I said, toward the end of the day, I think we had a couple of beers in the office, and I said, hey, talk to me. I go, I think you got the travel bug. He was just like, oh my gosh. So he's like telling me all about it. And I just told him, I said, listen, if you're not happy here, I am not going to force you here. If you want to go see the world, go see the world. And he started looking at English language programs and stuff. And I totally support him. Ended up like working for me like probably about another 6 months. But I even anything that he needed, if he needed to go do his passport stuff, it's like I wanted to support him in that. And I took that with all the individuals that I've always worked with. But we have a tendency that we keep this huge attachment that if we let go, we're losing all control and all power. Yeah. And it does not provide value back into the relationship at all.
Yeah. There, that mindset of like protecting your assets, protecting your people, keeping them, scarcity, right? Versus like abundance, provide,
right?
And
it boomerangs back. I mean, it goes. I mean, here he traveled the world 2-3 years later and working as the production manager and keeps my ego in check. Let me tell you, he's making comments right now on the other side of the studio wall. But it just goes to say, like, it comes back to you. Yeah. It comes back to you. So why not try providing some of that intimacy and love into the essence of some leadership?